Hey there viewers, in today's video I am making over these spray painted disasters into the go-to finishes for 2024. Plus there's an exciting giveaway that you don't want to miss. Hey guys, I'm Kara with Lemons to Lemonade Furniture. I found these nightstands at a thrift store that was way south Dallas and they were marked for $45 each. They are covered in spray paint. Watch what we can turn these into. These are actually really nice nightstands. Great construction. They're made of solid wood and they had a maker's mark on the inside with dovetail drawers. Unfortunately, they're going to require some work to get the overspray off from the spray paint. It's all over the insides and the drawer sides, but most of the finish on top is failing, so that should come off pretty easily. Somebody's left me some goodies inside, so let's start first by bagging all of this up. Now that my drawers are empty, I'll cut off these price tags and we can start cleaning. I'm using some diluted simple green and a bucket of warm water to get off all this dirt and grime. I'll do a full breakdown on this one as far as cost and supplies in the details down below, so be sure to click down there to see everything that I spent and what I end up listing these for at the end. I'll remove these handles and set them aside for a future project. They are not going to go with the vibe of the nightstand design that I have in mind for today. Then I'm going to take my Surf Prep 3x4 sander with an 80 grit sanding pad to bust through what's remaining of this spray paint. I chose not to use a chemical stripper for a few different reasons. It took very little effort to get the remainder of the spray paint off the top of this. Plus, I'm going for a look that does not require me to take this down to raw wood, just evening out the surface. Not only will my sander help me even out all the lumps and bumps from the spray paint and the overspray, it's also going to rough up the surface so that my paint will adhere nicely. The spray paint came off the top so easily that I considered just staining these tops, but after further inspection there was just way too much damage and really not a nice even surface, so I'm going to go back to my original idea for these. Now that I've had these sanded down smooth, I most definitely need to worry about bleed through with these nightstands. I'm going to prime them with one of my favorites, Sherwin-Williams shellac based primer in the purple can. I'm I'm using a 3/4 inch nap roller to roll this on. It's usually the easiest for cleanup, so you can just throw away this roller afterwards. This is pretty impossible to get off any of your paintbrushes or rollers, so you want to make sure you're using something that's more disposable. You can also use a chip brush, those are pretty cheap to pick up, and then just go ahead and toss that when you're done using it. All right, the nightstands have 2 coats of primer on them. I came out last night after the first coat was drying and I noticed it had a lot of bleed through, so I went ahead and just did a second coat. Looks good this morning. I should be good with any bleed through issues. I think we've got them taken care of. So I'm just gonna go over the top with a squishy foam abrasive to knock down any lumps and bumps before we start painting. Today's video is sponsored by Wagner to help me celebrate hitting 50,000 subscribers on my channel. They are giving away 1 spray tent to one of my lucky viewers. But that is not all. I am also going to sweeten the pot and give away my own Wagner spray tent to one of you all. So Wagner's giving away one and I'm giving away one. You don't want to miss entering. And so how you're going to do that is you're going to go ahead and follow me on this channel if you don't already. Subscribe to me over on Instagram and follow Wagner over on Instagram. Leave me a comment down below as to what you'd like to use your spray tent for and you'll be entered. I've left all the links in the description box down below to make it super easy to enter, so good luck and I'll let you all know who won next week. And thank you, Wagner. This Wagner spray tent was so easy to set up. I've got plenty of space in there for both of my nightstands, and this is definitely going to help save my garage floor. So let's start painting. For today's project, I'm using my Wagner Flexio 3500. If you watch my channel, you know that I normally have a 20-gallon compressor with an HVLP sprayer, but a lot of you don't have that and you're always looking for suggestions of what else you can use if you don't have that large of a compressor. So I am so thrilled today to show you that there is another option. You can always find everything I'm using in the links below. I have been in love with the natural wood looks that are projected to be in style for 2024, and they've been really great sellers for me in my area. So I'm trying a new technique on these nightstands to see how close I can get to this Pottery Barn-esque look. So I'm starting off with some tan paint. You can use whatever color is your base that you'd like. I'm using the color Latte from Sherwin-Williams Emerald Collection, but you can use any color tan paint that you have on hand. This is just going to be your base coat. I'm using the liners for the Wagner Flexio 3500. You can purchase these on Amazon. It just helps make cleanup just a little bit easier. And then I run the paint through a paint strainer just to make sure I don't have any lumps that are going to get stuck in my sprayer. I started out by testing my settings on an extra piece of cardboard. I just played around with the airflow setting until I had it spraying smoothly. So after testing this out on my piece of cardboard, I figured out where to set my material settings. I've got the X boost on the top set to about a 6 for the air power. And then underneath, I've got the material flow set to about a medium. The paint is a little thicker, so I did have to add just a little bit of water to make sure that it went through a little smoother. But as you could see from when I was testing it, this thing's really easy to test and figure out what setting's gonna be best for the paint or the material that you're using. This Wagner Flexio 3500 was really easy to use, very beginner friendly. I was impressed on how easy it was to put all the pieces together and to figure out what flow and airflow I needed on this. It's pretty lightweight, even though I've got it fully loaded with all of my paint, and just left behind a really beautiful finish. I waited about 3 hours between recoat times, and this took 2 coats for full coverage. Now that I'm done with my tan paint, cleanup is a breeze with this Wagner spray gun. I'll just take the extra paint that's left over in the liner and dump it back into my can so I can save it for later. And then all of the parts from the sprayer come apart really easily and clean up with just some gentle soap and water washing. Everything comes apart and I let it dry on my sink and put it back together when it's dry and ready. I found exactly what I was looking for to finish this flip on the bottom shelf at Home Depot. So to create this Pottery Barn-esque look that we're going for, I'm going to use a few things. This is super easy to do. You just need a few things to make this look possible. So first off, I like the Rust-Oleum glaze. This is in the color Java Brown, and you can pick this up at your local hardware store. So this glaze has a dark stain in it, and because it's a glaze, it has a really long open time. So you can play with this for a little bit until you have the exact look that you want it to look like. To apply the glaze, I'll use a medium-sized foam brush, and then I'll wipe it back with a paper towel. So you want to have lots of these on hand as well. The first brush I'll need to use is like a deck staining brush. It's longer, it's wider in size, and it has really soft bristles. And I'll wipe these off each time I make a stroke. And then to finish, you'll want one of these corn husk brooms. And I picked this up for $5, I think from Home Depot. So they carry these there in the cleaning aisle. So let's get started. First thing I'll do is use my foam brush and the brown glaze, and I put on a real liberal amount of this glaze. Don't hold back on this step, just make sure everything is coated really, really well. And then I'll take my rag and I'll start to wipe this back. You can wipe off as much or as little as you want to get the look that you're going for. And you'll want to wear gloves because this glaze will get all over your hands. It looks messy at first, but just trust the process. It'll end up looking really cool. And very much like those things that we're seeing in Pottery Barn and Wayfair, that raw wood look that's so on trend right now. This is a really, really easy way to create it. All right, so now I've got my glaze pretty much where I want it. So I'm gonna use my deck staining brush to start making the lines. And I'm just using up and down sweeping motions. Make sure you keep your hands straight in whatever direction you want to go in. No arches like rainbows, because it needs to look like normal wood grain. And again, the glaze is really forgiving, so you can mess with this as much as you want to get the look that you're going for. And then once you've got the deck brush and the motions that you want from that perfect, you're going to take the corn broom that has a little stronger bristle and then make the final etchings with this. And you can take it side to side, up and down, however you'd like to.
This is very much a trust the process type of finish. At first I didn't think I was really liking where this was going, but the more I used the deck brush and the corn broom, it just brought out more texture and that tan paint from underneath began to pop. I was getting super excited because I knew it was going to look exactly how I wanted it to. I can't wait to show you guys how these ended up.
So I got my first coat on of the glaze and I let it dry overnight, and I came back out and it's too light for me. So that's what's so nice about the glaze, is that it's totally buildable. So if you didn't like the way it was looking, you just keep adding layers of it until you get to what you like. So it's just repeating the process again, but this time I'm gonna not wipe it back and see what the difference is. So I'll put on a nice heavy layer of the glaze first. Once that's on, I'll go back in with my bigger deck staining brush and take away some of the glaze, and I just wipe off my brush as I go. And then I'll go back and forth with this brush a lot until I have the look and the color that I'm going for.
I let this project dry overnight, and it was around the next night when I finally got time to come out to the garage and seal this up. I chose to use Lily Moon's top coat because it has more of a matte finish. I loaded this into my Wagner sprayer and applied 2 good coats. The inside of the drawers needed just a little bit of love, plus I thought this would look kind of cool as a little pop of surprise when the drawers were open. So I found some peel and stick wallpaper on Amazon and measured these to fit the drawers. And to finish these off, I found the cutest simplistic brushed bronze knobs, and they just happened to come in a 12-pack, which is exactly what I needed. Let's revisit these thrift store nightstands covered in dull spray paint and lots of scratches and in desperate need of a makeover. And let's fast forward to the after.
I hope you enjoyed today's crazy good transformation of these spray painted disasters as we updated them to the go-to finish for 2024. Do not miss out on that Wagner giveaway, you guys. You'll need to follow me on Instagram, follow Wagner on Instagram, and leave a comment below telling me how you would like to use your Wagner spray tin. Good luck to you guys, and I'll announce that winner next week. And all of the rules are listed below, as well as all the links to finding us on Instagram, so be sure to check that out. If you loved today's transformation and you want to see more inspiration, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to my channel so that you will never miss a flip. My next video is coming soon, and we will tackle yet another design challenge and pay some more of my bills just from flipping furniture. Thanks so much, you guys, for being here, and I'll see you next time.